Oh, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real kids in the house like motherfucking kitchen sinks. We back. You heard me? Get your hands up. Get hype. We about to get turned. Respectfully. So now all of that's out of the way. I ran into an individual today, right? And this was my cousin, like my real live blood cousin. Hadn't seen this individual. Literally laid eyes on this individual since 2006. Let me give you all the backstory because, the significance of me running into this individual. Actually, there's no significance, but it's ironic, to say the least, because of the things that transpired between us. I'm quite sure that he didn't want to run into me whatsoever. Now, before we get into this afternoon's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I bring you a video or story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, your co-worker's getting on your nerves, your boss is getting on your nerves, whatever, you're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Maybe you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or at night you're trying to go to sleep, depending on whatever time you view or listen to this video. Or you're just in the mood to hear a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is a channel for you. So if you like the 8, 9, 10, 12-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with those whatsoever. But at Real Kens TV, be 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, to sum all of that up, if you will, there is a message. I run into my cousin, and I'm not even gonna use his real name, because I typically don't use real names on here. And as much as I really would like to use his real name, sometimes you just have to bury the hatchet, let bygones be bygones, and just go on about your merry way. So we'll call this individual that's my actual cousin Mark, because he's a Mark. His behavior was like Mark-like behavior. If you're not familiar with what a Mark is in Urban Dictionary, look it up. He was a real live Mark for what he did. My cousin, man, was like my brother. I'm talking about like literally like my brother. He had a brother, and unfortunately, his brother was having some health issues, and he had passed away. Him and I we were already tight, but we really, really became tight. Everything that we did back then, we pretty much did it together. Now, we kind of took different paths because I was playing sports in high school. He was too, and he was a super, super athlete. I mean, way, way better than me. I stayed the course, but he decided that he kind of wanted to venture off, and he started working. So here it was in high school. He's supposed to be at football practice. He's at his job. The money meant more to him at that particular moment, and I respected that. He was working 2 jobs in high school along with going to school. Now, when I say this guy was a super, super athlete, I'm talking about was a super athlete. He could have gone to so many Division I colleges. As far as track, he was very, very fast. But again, his focus was on making money. And I failed to mention that he had a baby on the way at the age of 16, 17 years old. So that had a lot to do with it just as well. He was doing the responsible thing. I'm not going to get on here and shame him. I'm going to get on here and call it for what it is. A spade is a spade, man. Regardless of how you try to, put it, a spade is a spade. We were tight, man. Talked on the phone all the time, probably almost every night. He was about a year and a half older than me. I graduated high school. He went on to, he was already in the working field or what have you, working 50, 60 hours a week. I go to college. He's working, but we maintain our relationship. Go to the parties, because I went to Kentucky State University. It's only probably 30 miles from Lexington. Not even 30 miles, it's about 24, 25 miles from Lexington. And, I was on the football team or whatever. So I would let him know, hey, cuz there's a party up here this weekend. I'm sneaking out of the dorm. I'm supposed to be in the dorm for curfew. I done snuck out of the dorm. I'm supposed to be in class. I'm supposed to be in work study, a study hall, studying with the team. I'm in the dorm shooting dice with the thugs and the gangsters or whatever. So I was already kind of on a downward spiral, and I didn't even recognize it. At this particular point in life, I had no criminal record. See, for you all that don't know, that haven't been following me long, I didn't grow up like in and out of the system, the criminal system, juvenile system. I never got arrested as a juvenile. I never got into any trouble whatsoever. I went to school, got good grades. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke weed. I definitely didn't use any drugs. Any of these things all the way through high school. It wasn't until later on in life I became a knucklehead. And so, as time passed, time went on, life started to life. I ended up having kids. He had more kids. And it was just like, okay, what do we do? Now, he was still working his job. Don't get me wrong. He was still working his job. But the particular job that he worked at, they closed down one day. Just out of the blue, we went to work. And it was like, okay, no more work. I had started to work there because I wasn't going to college at this point. I got sick, and I ended up having to withdraw from school, and you know how that goes. I never did go back the next semester. So after 2 years, I had to withdraw from school. The real world hit me. I have a baby on the way. I'm young. I'm probably, 20 at the time, 21 maybe. And, life is really, really lifing. So I'm working. I'm making nice money. I'm saving my money or what have you. We were working at an appliance store called Steinberg's. I believe they had like 23, 24, 25 stores. And it was mainly in this area, in this region. So you all may not be familiar with Steinberg's. A lot of you all maybe had Circuit City. It was long before Best Buy. You had Steinberg's and Circuit City in this area. And so, as I mentioned, we're making money, and they just shut down one day. So it's like, oh, what am I going to do? Yeah, I had plenty of money saved up, checks or what have you, but that money goes out fast, especially when you don't have money coming in. I turned to doing what I did as far as, the counterfeit game. He was still in the working field. He was still, he was doing his thing. He was doing his dirt, but it just wasn't the type of dirt that I was doing. Again, we never ever separated as far as the contact that we had, man. When I say this dude was literally like my brother, he was my brother, man. We fought together. We did, man, I can tell you all many, many stories about this situation. Matter of fact, I have. And so, one day, him and I were talking. I had accumulated some money. He had some money that he had accumulated. He always kept money. And it was like, look, man, I want to start this business. And he's like, what you trying to do, cuz? I had worked for a company called Rainsoft. Now, Rainsoft was a company, and they sold the water softeners. The water softeners and the water purification systems. To where they hook it up to your water main, so the water that comes out of your faucets and your drains and, in your entire house is soft. It's soft water, so when you take a shower and you wash your hands, you're not doing those things with hard water. So the average person is like, water softeners, but I seen the potential. I seen all the money that people was making in my job. I mean, it was people that was making $3,000-$4,000 a week. Now, they were great salespeople, but they were making it. I was selling the softeners, but I wasn't really putting in the work and the time to make the money that they were making. So I tell cuz, I'm like, listen, man, these water softeners, I give him the rundown. We watch a couple videos. I'm in, man, I'm with it. He puts his money in, I put my money in. Then we had another individual that unfortunately is no longer with us. He believed in me for the longest. He put his money in. So we had all this money. We had like 30 grand. We started this company. I don't even remember what the company was called, but we sold water softeners. We would go door to door, hanging flyers. We had these little bottles, and basically, it was an instruction. There's a baggie, right? It's kind of like a baggie, like a Ziploc bag, but you could hang them on people's door. On the inside of the door, you had like a sheet, and it was an instruction sheet telling people, okay, what you do is take your water, or take this. We had like a little, I guess it's kind of like a little container. It wasn't, maybe about 2 inches, 3 inches. I say about 3 inches. Pause though. Put it inside the bag with the instruction sheet telling people to, fill the container up with their water. What we're going to do is we're going to come back the next day, do a test on the water to determine how hard their water, was. So as we go back through the neighborhoods and we see, we look on the doors, we would see people actually, had the bags hanging on the doors. So we was like, whoa, people are really, responding. Now, obviously, not everybody, not the majority of the people, but a lot of people was, hanging the bags back on the doors. We go back through, grab the bags. We go in and test it. Obviously, we're gonna come back. Everybody's water is dirty, is hard, or whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a free analysis. Basically, come in, show you exactly what we're talking about. We had like these briefcases, and they had like the little water kits in them or whatever. So it was real crazy, but it really shows you how dirty the water is that you drink and that you bathe in. So that was the the overall that's what we did as far as the business. We was getting sales, but they weren't really coming in the way that we wanted them to come in. Then, because we were still kind of, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We wasn't giving it all. We would go out there and pass out flyers for hours, and but you look up, we in a club somewhere. We had a building, we had an office, but it just wasn't. We were nowhere near our full earning potential because we weren't putting in the work. A lot of people want to start business. I tell my daughter this all the time. You want to start a business, but it takes work, man. You think you can't just go to the office and work 6, 7, 8 hours a day? No, you got to put in that work 16, 17, 18 hours a day sometimes, because no one knows who your company is. You have to get out there and grind and treat people well and do good business so that people will refer you. Hey, yeah, such and such water company or whatever. See what I'm saying? Same way with YouTube. People think that you just jump on here and make videos. No, word of mouth. And so things were going semi-well. We were just barely getting by. Just making enough money to pay the bills at the office, the insurance, phone bill, and recoup our money from the merchandise the water softeners that we had bought. We ain't had no credit lines or anything like that. So if we wanted 5 water softeners, guess what? We got to pay, I believe at the time they were about $1,000 a piece, but we selling them for about $2,500 to $3,000, depending on who it was. We had financing, we had all type of, like, it was a legitimate business. I resort back to my old ways. Now, when I say I resort back to my old ways, I had been in trouble before, but I didn't get sent to the pen. I had gotten probation. But I knew how to do the counterfeit, and I knew how to come up on some money fast. He had some money that was supposed to come through, but it didn't come through. And so a lot of our money started to be, we exhausted a lot of our money because we were having to pay the rent, at the office every month. As time went on, we hit like a little dry spell. We weren't selling many units. So guess what? If we wanted to keep the business open, we had to use our own money. That money quickly ran out, or started to run out. And it was like, man, I ain't trying to keep using my own money, bro. I got to live over here too. Vice versa, I feel you. He was maintaining. I jumped back into what I do, the counterfeit game or whatever. I never brought him into it. I never wanted him to be a part of that whatsoever, because this was my thing that I was doing over here. As I mentioned, he had a situation where I think he was trying to put like take out another mortgage on his house because his house was paid for. So I'm not going to say another mortgage. He was trying to take out like a loan or something like that, a lien on his house. And at the very end, when he was supposed to go get the money, this is the money that he was supposed to, because actually in the very beginning, he didn't pay everything that he was supposed to pay. So this was supposed to be the money that was going to kind of keep us afloat for at least 6 months. They tell him that the house has a lien on it. His dad years ago had went and got a lien on the house and I guess never paid it back, but nobody knew. So obviously he couldn't get the money. I'm not tripping. This is my cousin, man. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not disappointed in him. It wasn't his fault. I'm trying to make the business survive. I want to make sure that we don't just go under. I start doing my thing. I'm making money. I'm paying the bills. Make sure, the lights stayed on. His little situation at his job, because he still worked, he ended up getting fired at his job. He had been there for some years. And a couple years, since Steinberg's had closed. He ended up getting fired. I don't even remember exactly what happened. So he gets fired. Now his money gets funny. Unemployment don't pay very much. His money gets funny. He's looking for other jobs and, things like that. But it's just not anything that he was, I guess, interested in or, whatever the case may be. So now he wants to do what I do. Look, cuz, I don't even want to get you involved in this. He ain't had no criminal record. He was like me. He never got into any trouble. Look, cuz, I don't even want to get you involved in this, man. Just stay the course. Just keep doing what you do. Yeah, I feel you, man. A couple more weeks goes past. Cuz, it ain't going right for me. I'm looking for a job, man, but they ain't really talking right. They not, So he asked me a couple more times. I'm like, all right, man, look. All you got to do is this. All you got to do is just find an individual that wants to make this money, and that's it. You don't got to do nothing. You don't got to take this counterfeit. You don't have to present it to anybody. You don't got to. We had checks also. You don't have to do anything. Just find somebody that's willing to do it. He finds a couple people. It goes down. Boom, boom, boom. We get money. Everything's cool. A few more months goes past. My cuz came to me. He wants to get down. Now, his cousin isn't my cousin, but it's his cousin, if it makes any sense to you. I said, bro, don't fool it. I don't necessarily want to do that, man, because that's your peoples. See, the people that you've been dealing with, they don't know you. So when something happens, if something goes down, they can't necessarily point you out because it's not your MO. You're not even in the system on their radar for this. But this dude knows your name, your family. Yeah, because he got an ID that looks like him, man. Let me see the ID. He shows me the ID. Lo and behold, the ID could pass for his cousin. Now at this point, we more so dealing with the checks because the counterfeit, I kind of strayed away from that because it was too much going on. Dudes was putting it in the dice games and hitting the dope man up for it. And I was like, nah, man, that's not what it's supposed to be, for or whatever. So I strayed away from that. We know how to do the counterfeit checks. Real life counterfeit checks. Looking at this. Yeah, we definitely can do this. Hit a couple licks. Nothing major. I think the checks was $3,500, $3,600 a piece. He does maybe 3 or 4 of them. 35. Let's just say he did 3 of them for a total of 10,000. He may have gotten 3,000. Then cuz pretty much, the rest. About a month later, he comes back. Bro, I need to get down. Listen, man. We already made it through it. You ain't got to keep doing this. Nah, man, you don't understand. Me and my girl, we gonna get thrown out. The crib, man, the car. I think his car had gotten repoed. He was like, bruh, I'm serious, man. I need, he needs to do this. Damn, bruh. I don't want to keep taking risks. It's just a heck of a risk because he knows you. As I've already mentioned, like I was really, really concerned about that. But the money was bigger to me, the dollar signs. All right, man, we're going to do this. He goes, does a couple. We try to do one more. It was a he gets hung up in the bank or whatever. He comes out of there. He's coming, he's running out of there or whatever. He ends up getting away because I'm not with them. They end up getting away or whatever. But the people know who he is. They got him. Somehow they ended up getting him on camera. See, the whole thing was when you go into the bank, have a hat on, wear it low, put what do you call it, super glue on your thumbprint. So, on your thumb. So when they do the thumbprint, it distorts your thumbprint. The checks would already be signed. So you're just a body. That was the whole method back then. I'm not telling anybody to do anything like this. This is already something that I've been done time for, So I'm just telling you all my experiences to encourage you, to implore you all never to do anything like this. Like I said, he ends up getting caught up in the bank. I don't know exactly what the scenario was because I wasn't in the bank. The detectives are calling his house. He lived with his parents. Well, actually, they were calling his parents' house trying to get in touch with him. They knew who he was. Son, what have you done? The detectives, I don't know, Mom. I don't know, Dad. I haven't done anything. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, you need to go down there and talk to this man because they keep calling and they're relentless. They're stopping by the house. They're leaving their cards. They're not going anywhere. He shook. He goes downtown and talks to the detectives. And like most people, he makes it as though somebody forced him to do this. Oh, they told me if I just, cash these checks or whatever for them because he made up a whole story. If I just cash the checks for them because they didn't have anybody to cash the checks, but it's a legitimate business and they only gave me $100 per check. So I thought that I was really, I didn't realize I was doing anything wrong. Lying. This dude was blowing the phone up to try to go get busy, to try to, get down, make some money. But that's how it typically goes. Of course, the detectives know they lying, but they don't really want them. They want my cousin, and in turn, need my cousin to get to me. He's telling. I know that he's telling. I knew that once my cousin told me, even before my cousin told me, I knew that he was telling. But once my cousin told me that dude had told, I knew it was only a matter of time before they was coming after me. See, my cousin in the streets, man, he was that guy. He was, but dealing with the police is something totally different. You can take an individual that the toughest street dude, but nobody wants to do 40 years. Come on, Kings, y'all weren't going to do no 40 years over no checks. But they led him to believe that he could do 40 years. I know that you won't, but you can actually. You actually can. Play with them people if you want to. White collar crime, you get sentenced harder unless you rich, unless you done, American greed and you done scammed, 1,000 elderly people out of $70 million. They only get 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Get caught with a little dope, get caught with a gun. Oh, they ready to give you a life sentence, man. Cash a few checks, get caught with some counterfeit, they ready to give you 20 years in the feds. So it's depending on who you are. I knew it was a matter of time before my cousin was really going to come for me because he wasn't built for that. And I knew this. But when he came to them streets, as I mentioned, I'm in the gambling house one night. I'm going to give y'all an example. I'm in the gambling house one night. Shout out to my truck drivers too. Anybody that has long routes that deliver or just long shifts, 12-hour shifts, even if it's 8, 16, whatever it may be, and you like the longer videos, Kens, we like the longer videos. It helps me through my shift. Shout out to you. Salute. I'm in the gambling house one night. Actually, it started out at night, but then it ended up being in the morning. I'm in there all by myself. It's never good to go to a gambling house, and especially by yourself. I'm in there. We at the crap table. We shooting dice. I'm throwing licks. You heard me? I'm licking them. Pause, double pause, triple pause. Now, when I say I'm throwing licks, meaning I'm hitting all my points. It has to be about, I want to say, it was a big dice game. 15, 20 people in the dice game. Then there's other people standing around. Here I am in this gambling house all by myself. The individual that ran the house, that owned the house, he had ended up leaving. He had an emergency. So he let his mans watch the money. I'll be back, dog. You know what I'm saying? An hour or so, you hold everything down. Now, it's a real life gambling house. Sometimes when you go in, they got cameras, you get patted down or whatever. They got food in there. You can order chili. Because I remember it was the winter time, so they had chili this particular night. You get drinks. This is a real live gambling house. And it's deep in the hood. Deep in the hood. On Ray Street. So for anybody that's familiar with Lexington, you understand that Ray Street is not anywhere you want to be at. unless you from that area or you familiar with that area or whatever, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm killing them. I'm talking about I'm probably up, without exaggerating, I know I'm up $7,000 or $8,000. Whole room, all eyes is on me. Every time I hit a point, don't nobody move but me. Don't nobody move. I'm just raking in money, man. Just raking it in. It was probably more than $7,000 or $8,000. It was so much money, I couldn't count all that bread. I got to looking around, and I'm like, man. I'm looking at the eyes, and I'm looking at people, how they're looking at me. See, certain people knew me in there, but certain people didn't know me in there. It's not like I'm a notorious street dude, or I have a notorious reputation or whatever. Yeah, like I said, a couple people knew me, but a lot of people didn't know me. I was from that area, but I wasn't from that area. You see what I'm saying? I'm from around the way, around the corner, but I'm not like from that street, that area, that deep in that area. So now in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get out of here? If I try to leave out of here and I'm up all of this money, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, may have been 10, these dudes ain't trying to let me walk out of here. And I know it. Too many people have lost money. People are already probably peeping the scene, knowing, dang, he's in here by himself. Dude's gone. Now, when I say dude's gone, meaning that the dude that ran the house or whatever, I always use my mind. I use my brain. I try to, think my way out of any situation. Hey, I'll be back. Where you going? Where you going? Man, I'm going to the bathroom, man. I'll be back, man. I go to the bathroom. I got wads of money. You know how cash is, 20s and 50s and 10s and 5s. I got wads. My pockets is bulging. You heard me? I go into the bathroom. I call Cuz up. Cuz, man, I'm at the gambling house, man. I'm killing them out, man, and I don't know how I'm going to make it out of here. Girl's in the background. She's going off. See, I'm sick of you, and I can't stand your cousin. And hey, baby, just calm down. Nah, you don't need to be leaving this house. And in the major scheme of things, she was actually right, because I shouldn't put anybody, my situation, I shouldn't make anybody else's situation. So in the major scheme of things, like I mentioned, she was right. Against what she was talking about, against her will, he left. See, my cousin he toted them things. He collected them. He was an avid gun. Like you go over his house, man. If you break in his house, it's not going to be good. I'm talking about probably 10, 15 guns in the house, and he would strategically place them in different parts of the house. One might be under the couch, because there wasn't any young kids in the house. One might be tucked away over here. Shotgun may be over here. So, he had them everywhere. He comes to the house. He had like a little 22. He had it tucked deep in his boot. He had these big Timbs that he used to wear, and he tucked the 22 in his boot. Remember, when you walk in the gambling house, they patting you down. He has another one. He has a couple, actually, but he leaves them in the car. Well, he can't park directly in front of the house, so he has to park down the street. So he grabs one. I forget exactly what it was. He keeps that tucked away. He hides it like in the bushes somewhere. He gets in the house with a 22, undetected, and his shoot. We sitting there. He's not gambling. He's just, a couple people, they knew him too. But again, he's not from that area either. We shooting. While I'm shooting, I start to lose. I know I lost a good 2,000 back. So when I lose the 2,000 back, now I'm like, all right, it should be straight. I'm still up a bunch of money. I'm about to go. All right, y'all, man, I'm going to get up, man. I'm going to get with y'all. Y'all going to be here tomorrow. What you mean you going to go? What you mean? What do I mean? I'm going to go. I've been here 3 hours. I'm gone. So you think you just going to take a nigga's money and run? So let me ask you something, bro. All due respect, man. What you think I'm going to just sit here all night? I've been here for 3 hours. I could have been gone. You done just seen me lose a bunch of this money back. Come on, bro. You got all that money. Nah, you ain't just getting out of here with my money. So I'm looking at my cousin. My cousin's looking at me. Just as I suspected, it was going to potentially go down. Once again, man. Once again, out of all the situations that I found myself in, the grace of God, dude comes back in. Dude comes back in that runs the house. He assured me that everything was going to be cool whenever because this wasn't the first time that I had been there, but a lot of times him and I would shoot head up. He comes in. Bro, if dude want to leave, you can't stop him from leaving or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we end up leaving. Dude was so cool. He said, matter of fact, here, man, I'm going to walk out here with y'all to the car and make sure everything's everything. Now, he don't know that cuz is strapped. He don't know that cuz got something, you know what I'm saying, tucked away in the bushes and in the vehicle or whatever. So I'm quite sure that he figured, but he didn't, you know, actually know for sure. So we get out of that situation. That's just one of the few situations that cuz done got me out of. So I know that dude is solid, but like I said, rather, I don't know how solid he's going to be when it comes to this, when the police is threatening you to do 30 years. Chilling one day, doorbell rings. So when the doorbell rings, I'm like, who is this? It was early in the morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning. Damn, who is this? Open the door. It's cuz. What's up, cuz? What's going on, bro? He's sweating real hard. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about sweating. Ain't like it's hot outside or nothing. Like, what's up, man? He's like, hey, bro, the people came to me, man. My cousin told on me. The people came to me, bro. I need a computer, man. I mean, they looking for the computer. Where's the computer at? I said, the computer? What are you talking about? He's like, man, the computer that you be making the checks and shit, the money that you be making and shit, where's the computer at? I'm like, bro, what computer? I don't know what you're talking about. Bro, you know the computer that you be using to make the checks. I'm like, bro, I ain't made no check. What are you talking about, dog? I don't have no computer. He's insisting that I have a computer, and I'm looking at him, and he's just pouring with sweat. Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't have no clue about nothing. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to get up out of here. He leaves. When he leaves, he gets in his car, drives off. I pull around the corner probably 15 minutes later. When I pull around the corner, this is how sloppy the police work is. I pull around the corner, right? I see this fool, his car. He's outside of his car, and he's standing in the window talking to a undercover detective. Now, this wasn't the way that I typically would go. So I guess he was wasn't anticipating me coming out. I don't know what the plan was, but whatever the plan was, I see this dude talking to an undercover. Now, I don't know who the undercover is, but looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, then typically what is it? I know what an undercover car looks like. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But I already felt that in my mind and suspected it, but seeing is believing. You trying to set me up, bro? That's why you was coming over here and you wanted the computer. Because, see, he knew that I had the computer because a part that I failed to mention, remember when I said we had an office? One night we were at the club and I seen one of my partners, Omar. Shout out to Omar. Omar said, hey, bro, his brother had a barbershop on the same strip where we had our office at. He said, hey, bro, police came by the barbershop, man. 2 detectives came by the barbershop asking and inquiring about you all's business. I said, for real? He said, yeah, they came by today. He said, then they came back. I'm like, you lying. He was like, bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you about nothing like this. So we at the club, I tell cuz, I'm like, hey, cuz, man, they said that, and we had 2 bad ones too that was trying to get with us. I'm talking about, oh man, 2 bad ones. They knew where the office was at. Hey, we gotta go. He was like, where y'all going? Hey, hit us up, man, we gotta go. I tell cuz, look, we gotta go get the computer, get all the electronics, anything out of the office that could implicate us or what have you. Gotta get it out. So we leave the club, go do all of that. The females ended up coming down there. It was like, what are y'all doing? They see us moving computers and nothing. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. What are y'all? Nothing, man. What's up? So we get everything out, but he don't know exactly what I do with the computer. So that was the reason, that he was, asking, for the computer or whatever. Time goes past after that, not even long after that. Maybe it's not really even a week. Now, cuz and I, we not really even talking like that. We talking, but it's not like it was. I'm in the, where am I at? I'm trying to reflect back. I believe I was in the house. I come outside. Police is outside. They got a warrant for my arrest. They take me in. Actually, it was probably about 2 weeks later. They take me in. They take me straight to the headquarters. They trying to interrogate me. We know this, we know that, blase, blase, blase. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know these people. I don't, When the police take you to the headquarters or try to question you, the best thing is I need an attorney. I didn't do that this particular time. I'm trying to talk my way out of it. But yet at the same time, not implicating myself or anyone else. I don't know what y'all talking about. What? Who? Computer? What? I did this, I did that. Man, I don't know nothing, man. So I'm listening because I'm really trying to get the information that they have that they're going to use against me. But obviously, they're only going to give so much information. I'm thinking, man, I'm going to walk out of this room. They don't got nothing on me. They ain't catch me with nothing. They didn't. Put your hands behind your back. You arrested for what? Organized crime. Criminal syndicate. Criminal syndicate? What is that? What is organized crime? What? I go to jail. Our court date, when we end up having our court date, I get arraigned like the next day. It's just me. But in Fayette County, once you get arraigned, they have like so many days to bring you back for your second court appearance, which is your preliminary hearing to determine if they're going to send it to felony court, which they always do. They send me up to felony court. I'm in jail. When I'm in jail, I see cuz, because they put you in the assessment center. That's where you go the first day or two when you're in jail before they send you to whatever dorm you're going to. I see cuz, I see a couple more dudes that I do know. Cuz is looking at me like this, and I'm looking at him like, what? I don't know nothing. I sit in there for a good 60 days. After 60 days, I end up getting indicted. They take me to felony court. I get arraigned in felony court. So when I go for my arraignment in felony court, which is your initial court date, I'm looking around the courtroom. It's like 13, 14 people. I'm the only one in green. I'm the only one in jail attire. Everybody else got on street clothes. Some of these people I knew, some of the people I didn't know. I'm like, how in the world does everybody else have on street clothes? But I'm the only one that has on a jail uniform. 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. Oh, they working. They talking. But in my mind, I still don't want to believe that cuz is working, because I'm like, okay, his parents got money. They probably just came and got him out. They probably, the other people, okay, I understand what this is about, but nah, cuz ain't. I see his cuz is there. He's looking at me all silly. I sit in the county. Judge don't want to give me a bond reduction or anything. It's probably another 2 months go past. I get my motion for discovery. Your motion for discovery is what the state has to give you to show the evidence that they intend to use against you in pursuant to, the case. My lawyer tells me, hey, I got some tapes for you to listen to. Not CDs, I got some tapes. I got some tapes for you to listen to. He gets me the tapes. I get, take them to the, they got like a tape recorder in jail or whatever. I go in the little room. I listen to the tapes. It's cuz on there telling on me. Cuz had a wire on when he came to my house. Looking for the computer, he had a wire on. A wire. He's agreed to work with the state. His cuz, that's not my cuz, was on the tape. He's like, yeah, man, I can't, dude, man, he talked me into doing this, and I don't even like the dude anyway. Really, I won't punch him in his face, but I ain't never really liked him anyway. He got me in all this trouble. My cuz, once again, which is his cuz, he didn't really have anything to do with it. It was him talking about me. Man, I ain't never had a conversation with that man a day in my life. Yeah, I seen him. I ain't never said a word to him as far as when it comes to that. Everybody's testifying on Kens. Everybody. I want to say it was 14 people. Somebody ended up passing away. I think she got sick. I didn't even know who this person was. So now it's 13 of us. 12 is testifying against me. Maybe one other individual wasn't. So I tell him, I see him in the county too. So I take that back. It was 2 of us that was locked up in the county. I tell him, I say, look, bro, his name is Five. I've been talked about Five in prior stories. I said, hey, Five, listen, bro, they trying to bank me, man. Go and tell the people whatever you want to tell them, man. Save yourself. Bro, I ain't doing that, man. I ain't no rat. I ain't no snitch. You ain't got to be no rat or no snitch. But one other person, what's they going to do? I can't beat 11, 12 people's testimony. I'm end up taking a plea anyway, so ain't nobody really going to have to go to the stands, go to the box. Because if I go to the box, it's a wrap. 30, 40 years. Judge won't lower my bond. My bond's $37,000. Full cash. Ain't no 10%. Ain't no bail bonds, man. $37,000. Every time I go to court, I done been in jail at this point 6 months. I just accepted my fate. He's not going to lower my bond. I'm hoping that I can just get this thing down to 10 years. If I can get 10 years, I do 2 years to the parole board and have an opportunity to get out. That's just what I'm hoping and wishing for. But I was crushed, man. I'm talking about I probably didn't even eat for 2 days. I was crushed to hear these tapes and hear my cousin on there talking and telling on me, man. Wearing a wire trying to set me up. This dude I'm talking about, he was trying to be a rapper as well. All the things that we were doing, he was supposed to be like a rapper or whatever. And it just goes to show half these rappers, half these dudes that's supposedly this and that in the streets, man, they ain't nothing. They're not what they say they are. I'm crushed, man. One day I'm talking to my girl. Actually, I go to court. Every time we go to court, we're asking for a bond reduction. Court dates is like 3 weeks, 6 weeks off every time in between. Judge said, I'm feeling pretty good today. Let me see. He gets to looking on my paperwork or whatever. My attorney is asking for $10,000 bond or less. Can make 10. Judge ends up, you know what, Mr. Kens, this is what I'm going to do for you today. He reduces my bond, but he reduces it to $25,000 from 37 to 25. And I believe he just did that because he felt kind of bad. Everybody else was out, so he was able to say that he did something. 25,000. Well, you might as well kept it at 37,000. I can't pay no 27,000. Talking to my girl, she said, I'm not supposed to tell you this, and you better not say nothing. I'm like, what's up, baby? I mean, I don't got time to be trying to play, Jeopardy and trivia right now. What's up, baby? What is it? Your mom's coming to get you out of jail. What? Your mom's coming to get you out of jail? What do you mean? Your mom is going to pay the $25,000 and she's going to come and get you out of jail. Right now, she's moving some money around and, getting the money. She has to have a cashier's check, but don't say nothing. Lo and behold, a week later, boom, I'm out of jail. Been home about a week. So this is how we hurt other people when we're incarcerated. My mom done went and got 25. She's far from rich. Far from wealthy. She just worked hard. My mom comes from, 9, 10 brothers and sisters. In the projects, they ain't get nothing for Christmas a lot of times. It's broke. All my aunts and uncles are homeowners to this day, pretty much. The ones that are still alive. So the point of me telling you is my mom, she comes from nothing. So for her to go get $25,000 and get me out and help me with my attorney just as well, man, priceless. Whole lot of love, but yet there's a whole lot of disappointment just as well. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for the second time. To get me out, a couple weeks later, I'm at the club. I decided to step out one night. I go to the club. Can't really too much have fun, but I'm trying to. But I'm thinking about all these years that I'm facing. This 33-year offer that they offer me. 33 years, it look like I'm a sign. Where I sign at? 33 years? Are you crazy? Not to mention, my lawyer told me that the feds may be interested in this case. So I'm really like, oh man. I look up, I see Cuz in the club. What's up, man? Now, I've been in the county at this point almost 8 months. What's up? I said, you tell me. Nah, bruh. I know what you're thinking, but it ain't even like it. Well, what is it like, man? I heard the tapes. They ain't got no tapes on me, bruh. I heard the tapes and I heard the wire. You can tell me all day long that it's not. I got it. It's in my possession. You told. Then you try to set me up by coming over with a wire. Listen, bruh. Listen. I said that to get myself out of that situation as far as so they would lower my bond. If you go to trial, I'm not taking a stance. I'm not even coming to court. And if I do, I'm pleading the fifth. Bro. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm like, dog, if I ain't have nothing to worry about, you never would have even said anything. How am I going to go to trial with 9, 10, 11 people testifying against me? How am I going to go to trial? So based on your testimony, which is the person that they felt that was closest to me, which he was, I'm about to get all of this time. Plus the backup time that I already have for being on probation. Talked a couple more minutes, kind of walked on separate ways. I really want to bust him in the head with one of these Corona bottles. Every time I go to the club, I keep a Corona bottle. I drink the Corona real fast, and I keep a Corona bottle in my back pocket. It ain't much, but you just never know when you might have to, split a motherfucker's wig, man, for messing with you, of course. We go our separate ways. The court proceedings, they continue or what have you. I stay out for another probably 8, 9 months. Then it's time to pay the piper. Either you going to trial or you going to take his plea deal. Listen, man, I ain't taking no plea. The offer kept coming down. 33 years, 20 years, 15 years, 12 years, 9 years, 8 years. My lawyer calls me a couple days before we were supposed to go to trial. Probably about a week before trial. It's called a status hearing. You have a status hearing, let the judge know if y'all definitely going, or if you can reach it's like a last minute type thing. Okay, if you all not gonna reach a plea deal, then the trial date is set for, the trial was set for 3 days. Like I done murked somebody or something. Attorney tells me, hey, they're offering you 3 years. He calls me like on a Tuesday. I got to go to court that Friday. Trial's supposed to start that Tuesday. They're offering you 3 years. I'm excited. John, if they offer me 3 years, they don't have anything on me. Man, let's go to the box. As your attorney, I highly advise you to take this 3 years. But John, why would they come today? Was offering me 33. You have all of these people testifying against you. I said, man, I need some time to think about this. Well, you got to let me know. By Friday, we need to be able to tell the prosecution something. I'm contemplating, I'm wrestling, going back and forth. Man, I ain't trying to take these 3 years. I already got 5 years on the shelf. That's going to make me have 8 years. I'm going to prison. Again, I was on probation. On the shelf means, the time that I have, that's your backup time. I'm trying to give you all the prison lingo. So that's your backup time. So if you were to mess up on probation or parole, I got these 5 years hanging on my head that I have to go serve. Then the new 3 years that I get will go consecutive with that to make it an 8-year sentence. Man, I got to go do 8 years, which is not 8 years. I got to do 20% and then see the parole board. So what is that? 14, 16, 19 months? Now I already did like 8 months in the county. So I'm thinking to myself like, man, another 11 months, then I'm eligible for parole. But I ain't trying to, I'm pressing the envelope. I'm pressing it. I tell the prosecution, we all sit in the room, because that's how they do here. When they're trying to, do a plea deal or whatever. I say, listen, man, I'll take a year. I said, I'll take a year. Let me talk to my client real quick. Prosecution, she grabs a little manila envelope, walks out of the room. She's not going to go down. You just heard her say she's not. Take the 3 years. That's my recommendation. Or we can go to trial. Now, if we go to trial, I done already gave him $6,500. He talking about he need another 5 G's that I didn't have. It's on a Friday. I'm like, man. Right before Christmas time, too. It's like December the 15th. All right, man, I take the 3 years. I take the 3 years, I go in there, we got to sign all the paperwork. I go before the judge. Your Honor, this is what I did or whatever. You got to say what you did. And at that point, the judge has his discrepancy, like it was a male judge. At his discretion, he could allow me to stay out. Or, instead of allowing me to stay out, he could take me into custody. Have 30 days, you come back, and that's when you're formally sentenced, final sentenced. His judge took me into custody that day and told me that I got a heck of a break by only getting 3 years. And he said, Mr. Kins, I feel as though, you were going to go to trial. You wasted a whole lot of the court's time. And it's my opinion that if you went to trial, the jury really, really would have, they would have hammered you. So, my lawyer, he's trying to fight with Your Honor. If you could have just allowed him to stay out for another 30 days to get his affairs in order. And he has kids, and Mr. Kins has already had time to get his affairs in order. This case has been going on. He's been out I reduced his bond for him. He's been out for like 9 months. Okay, Your Honor, I respect that, but, Mr. Kins has never missed a court date. He's never been late. He's never failed a drug test, anything. He maintains contact with his probation officer. So my lawyer's fighting for me. The judge just wasn't feeling me right there. The judge wasn't feeling the Kins. You know what I mean? He wasn't feeling me right there. Courtroom gets real, real quiet. He's looking down at the paperwork. My lawyer's not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Heart's beating. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. First time going to prison. And not just that, I didn't anticipate going to prison that day, going to jail that day. When I went in to take that 3-year deal, if I decided to take the 3-year deal, which I was leaning towards it, when I went to court that day, I didn't anticipate being locked up that day. I'm thinking, okay, 30 days, I come back after New Year's, I've come for final sentencing, I get locked up, and we go from there. Judge wasn't hearing it. Took me into custody, locked me up. I ain't see the streets again until 3 years. So all of these years, since 2006, I believe, 6 or 7, whenever I got the last time that I seen him was in 06. I just recently ran into him out of all of these years. He moved to a different county, but it's still within the, 15, 20, 30 minutes away. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. What's up, cuz? What's up? We shake hands. What's up, man? Most people's like, oh, man, I'd never speak to him again ever in life. See, my thing is this, man, I'm grown now. It's my fault for even being in the situation. See, nobody can put you in a situation. So, yeah, somebody may tell on you, which is always going to happen. But at the end of the day, should you even have been involved in that situation? And I knew he wasn't cut from that. Yeah, he was good with these, and, he going to pull that, he going to push that blade on the streets or whatever. But when it came to doing time and all, it's totally different. 2 different ball games. So ultimately, I took the blame for it, the responsibility, and I allowed bygones to be bygones. Now, he still kind of act like he had an issue with me, you know what I'm saying? But I could tell the conversation was dry. He told me that he had another son, and, and his mom's had unfortunately passed away, and, I'm sorry to hear that or whatever. It was maybe a 10-minute conversation. He went his way, I went my way. All these years, I finally ran into him. It's not like I was looking for him. I see he's still doing his rap. He's still, acting like he's a street dude or whatever. And I easily could expose, because there were other people that I know and see on Facebook that I easily could pull up the paperwork. It's all public record. But I'm grown now, man. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for any of that. I take the I'm responsible for my actions. If I never was involved in that, this never would have even happened. So I take the responsibility and all the blame for it. I'll never kick it with him again. We never really, but I'm cordial. I don't wish you nothing. I don't want to do you nothing. I can just live my life, do the best thing that I can do. And a lot of you youngsters out there, just people in general, understand. If you're in them streets, if you're doing something, you're gonna get told on. Understand that. So when it happens, don't act, in disbelief. Oh, my dog, I can't believe they told. I can't, because it's gonna happen. It's not even you think somebody wants to go do 40 years, 30 years, 20 years? Person don't even want to do a year. Now they away from they kids' mama, they baby mama, they, and they have an opportunity to get out of all that by just saying that you did it or you had something to do with it, or they're going to tell, man. The streets is not safe. It's not it. Stay out of the streets, man. Hopefully this story has given you all an example of how to stay out of the street. I don't care if it was counterfeiting. I have one partner that him and I go back and forth. Yeah, well, you got to understand what you was doing was counterfeiting. I was in the streets really, really selling dope. Dude, you was a nickel and dime type dude, man. I done more time than you. And my crimes are white collar. You a nickel and dime type dude. You was in the way in the street. Tennis shoe money. You way too old. You still in the streets getting tennis shoe money. You in the way, bruh. You get you a job and make the same amount of money, if not more, than what you're going to make doing what you do, man. Stay out of them streets, y'all. It's not worth it, man. You got the grave, you got the penitentiary. I said it once, said it twice, and I'll continue to say it. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you all like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. Forgive people and allow bygones to be bygones and the past to be the past.